Welcome to DWBIADDA channel. Please subscribe for latest training videos.
Welcome back. So in a previous lecture we were able to build our first Hello World Maven job, okay, and we were able to package our application also. So if we go to the build history, just to freshen up our memory, go to console output. Yeah, here you can see we were able to run all the life cycle phases of our Maven build job, okay, and in the end we were able to finish our job successfully. Okay, let's go back. So now what we'll do now, the next step is to archive our this hello world Maven war file and deploy it into our Tomcat server. Okay, let me show you how. So this is our Tomcat server, okay, which is running on 80814. So we'll deploy our hello world war file artifact into this Tomcat server. So let's go back to our Jenkins dashboard and let's see how we'll do this. Okay, so for that you need two plugins. I'll show you and how to install it. Let's go to the manage Jenkins and then manage plugin. Okay, now we'll go to available and install one plugin, that is copy artifacts. To install, we'll choose install without restart. So as you can see, it's installing right now. So let's wait for a minute, and yes, it's successful. So let's go back to manage plugin, okay, and go to install. So we need two plugin, okay, one we have just installed, okay, this is this one, and another plugin which we need is to deploy two container plugin, okay, which I had installed earlier, okay, and you can install it in the same manner which I had installed this copy plugin. Okay, now let's go back to Jenkins and let's create our second job which will deploy our war file into our Tomcat server. Okay, I'll give it a name deploy. It's a freestyle project. Okay, so we have created a deploy job to deploying our war artifacts into Tomcat server. Before configuring it, let me go back and we'll show you few things. Let's go back to our first job which we have created. Go to configure. Okay, now we'll go to our post build action. We'll click it and we'll choose archive the artifacts. Okay, and we'll define the file which we need to archive. Okay, it will be as */**.war file. Okay, so here we are saying that we want to archive all the artifacts with an extension of .war file. Okay, now we'll apply it. So we have created one artifact. Now what we need to do, we need to copy it. Okay, now we'll go to our deploy, we'll go to configure and we'll go back, and on a build step we'll choose copy artifacts from another project. Okay, so we'll define the project name which is my Maven. Okay, we have defined the project name. Okay, here we are copying our artifacts from the my Maven project. We have chosen this. Okay, only copy if our last build is successful. Okay, and here we'll define what artifact we need to copy. Again, we'll define here */***.war file. Okay, now we'll go ahead and on a post build action we'll click this and choose deploy warrior to a container. This is the plugin which I had already installed. I showed you. Okay, again we'll define what kind of war file we need to deploy it to our container. I'll again choose star star hash star dot war file. Okay, now container, I'll choose my Tomcat 8.x. Let's go back to a Tomcat server, and yes, a version is 8.5.7. okay, so here I've chosen the same. Now we'll define the URL of our Tomcat server, which in my case is this. Now for adding a credential, okay, go back to this, click Jenkins. Now let me show you where I had configured the username and password for our Jenkins, for our Tomcat server. Okay, so this is my Tomcat server. Okay, and this is the installation directory where I've installed my Tomcat server. I'll ll this. I'll go to cd conf ll and go to tomcat users.xml. Okay, so here you can see my username is admin and password is admin123. all right, so now you see where I have configured my Tomcat username and password. So I'll assign those username and password in my Jenkins also. I'll give it username admin and password admin123 and we'll add it. Once added, I'll can see here admin. Okay, I'll choose this and we'll do save. So everything is set, but what we need to do, we need to do one step. Again, I'll go to my first job, configure, and in post build action, I'll add another step. I'll choose this, build other project. Okay, and I'll mention the name, deploy. Okay, so what here I'm saying that once all this is done, like once we are able to package and build our application and we are able to archive our artifacts, then please run this job. Okay, the deploy one. Now let's save. Now if we run this build now, okay, and we can see soon that it will be scheduled here. Yes, this has been scheduled. Now if we go back and go to our deploy, okay, see our build has been scheduled. Okay, our deploy build has been scheduled, so it is it was earlier, it has been built now. So earlier it was waiting for our first job to build, and then when it is built successfully, it will trigger a deploy job application. Okay, now let's go to console output, and yes, and you can see a war file has been deployed successfully to a Tomcat server. Now if we go back to a Tomcat server, web app, this is where a war file is deployed in Tomcat. Yes, here you can see hello world. So our war file has been deployed successfully on a Tomcat server. So before ending this lecture, I want to show you one more thing. For Jenkins to communicate easily to a Tomcat server, you need to assign all these roles in our user XML file in Tomcat. Okay, so please note that sometimes you might see an error that it is not able to deploy our war file to a Tomcat server. So mainly the reason is this. Okay, and again you can see this, configure this in Tomcat user.xml in conf directory of your Tomcat server. Okay, so I hope you get to understand how we can build and trigger another build from our first job, and how we can deploy our artifacts from one job to another. Okay, thank you so much for this one. We'll see you in the next one.